Hi beautiful people. So I am here today with not so much so a recipe, it's more of a thought. It's probably gonna end up in a recipe, but as of right now it's just a thought. So often I feel a type of way about throwing away certain things, and by now you would think I had a compost, right? It's just that for the life that I want to live, I feel like I need a partner because I don't want to put too much on myself. I teach little ones, I care for little ones, and that takes a lot out of me. So trying to care for plants and, having a garden, that would be a little bit too much on my plate because I have a very laid back, free flowing personality and I try not to do too much. And I could quickly get overwhelmed. So to avoid myself from becoming overwhelmed, I take it really easy. So because of that, I don't think that having a compost would be easy for me as a single person. So yeah, the best thing for me would be to have a garden and a compost because I feel a type of way about throwing away scraps. So today I'm here with some scraps. These aren't even really scraps. This is the pulp from juiced veggies. My mom juiced some veggies this morning, kale and carrot, and normally this would go in the bin and I'm like, why? Let's think of something to do with it, right? So the easiest thing would be to like sprinkle this on a salad, but I'm kind of extra sometimes. So I want to turn this into a flatbread. Let's see. So I sat and thought about my ingredients and this is what I came up with. So we have the juice pulp, which I am using, but I'm thinking if you don't have juice pulp, then you can use soaked chana. Ground flax meal. If you only have whole flax seeds, then you can blend it and make it into meal. Onion, dry seasonings, fresh seasonings like parsley, celery, and basil. Chickpea flour, because that is what I had available. You can use any flour you like. Salt, olive oil, or coconut oil. I used coconut oil. Soy sauce, which is optional, and water. So I placed all of my ingredients into my food processor. If you don't have a food processor, I'm pretty sure you can just put this into a bowl and combine with a spoon. So everything is in here except the water. I'm going to put a little bit of water at a time until it gets to the consistency that I want. So here I am pouring just a little bit of water and I'm going to process and then pour a little bit more water to get it to the right consistency. So this is good for me, not too wet, not too firm. Then I have wax paper. It would be really good if I had parchment paper because parchment paper, it's kind of like non-stick already, but because I'm just using wax paper, I have to brush some oil on it. And then I just pour all of my quote-unquote dough onto my wax paper, and then I use my hands to spread it out evenly. I did rub oil on my hands to avoid it from sticking on my hands. And here it is. All I have to do now is pop this in the oven. My oven is set at 350. After about 30 minutes, this is how it looked. What I have to do now is flip it over and peel off the wax paper and then let the other side cook for another 15 minutes. Here I am peeling it off. As you can see, it's still stuck to the wax paper. I need to look into, parchment paper or some other mat that I can use, a non-stick mat, to avoid the sticking. But for now, this is what I'm working with. So the full baking time at 350 degrees was just about 40 minutes. All right, so what I did next, I sliced them into kind of like bread slices. I also cut off the edges and I put the edges into a Ziploc bag. I'm going to keep those. And I turned off the oven, but I put them back into the oven so that the leftover heat in the oven will help to dry it out and get it to a perfect texture for me. After about 15 minutes in the oven, while the oven was off, it was done and it was perfect and ready to be packaged. So I'm all done with the flatbread. Oh my gosh, it is so good. I tasted a piece. It's so tasty. I'm not going to show you just yet. I'm going to actually make it into a sandwich. I could either use it as just a one slice sandwich, or I can, you know, make it into an actual sandwich. So when I actually make the sandwich, I will show you. But in the meantime, let me taste this for you, because I have the edges. As I showed you before, I cut off the edges. And I'm going to just use these as probably like salad. I could crumble them, kind of like a crouton vibes. Crumble them onto my salads, right? So I'm keeping the edges in my Ziploc bag. And I'll use those when necessary. But yeah, it's hella good. Yo, why didn't I do this before? Just throwing away all the pulp. You know what it tastes like? For those of you in Trinidad and Tobago, there's this green crisp. You know what crisp is, right? The cracker, it comes in this orange pack. There's, you know, these flat crackers, and there's like this green package one. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a like right now. That is what this tastes like. Crisp. It's so good. It's so good. You know what? For all the carrot and kale pulp that I've wasted all these years, I'm so sorry. You guys need to try this recipe. And now, I'm going to show you what we can do with our flatbread. So just like with any other bread, it's important to leave them to cool before packaging them. And I'm just going to package them on wax paper. I'm going to try to get them to not touch. I'm not going to put them one on top of the other. I'm going to put wax paper in between each, as you can see, so that they won't touch and they won't stick onto each other, right? So yeah, after it's cool, you package it and you can put it in a Ziploc bag. You can put it in the fridge or in the freezer. So now it's time to make a sandwich. Remember, this is vegan and gluten-free. All right, so I'm going to make a Vuna sandwich. I will link the recipe for my Vuna in the description box below. And I also have a cabbage and sprout salad. So there is my sandwich. It is so good. It's vegan. It's gluten-free. It's awesome. And yeah, I totally enjoyed this sandwich. If you would like a tutorial on how to make your own sprouts at home, comment below. Let me know. And if you want more ideas on sandwiches with your flatbread, follow me on Instagram for more inspirations. So I'll be sure to link my Vuna recipe in the description box, and I'll also link my Instagram account. Bye, beautiful people.